Back from Iraq, both on the Foreign Relations Committee. Ranking Democrat Joe Biden of Delaware and Nebraska Republican Chuck Hagel, both joining us from Capitol Hill tonight. Gentlemen, welcome and thanks for being with us. Senator Biden, let me start with you first. You've said that U.S. forces may need to be in Iraq for up to 5 years. Do you think the American people really understand what that means?
No, I don't, and I don't think they've been told. We held hearings as far back as last July, and it was clear from the experts then that we're going to have, at that time they said 75,000 forces up to 3 years. I think there'll be some U.S. presence for a long time.
Senator Hagel, is there really an exit strategy here?
Well, the exit strategy is when Iraq is able to govern itself. Now, how long that's going to take, as Senator Biden said, we're not sure. But the fact is we're in. And we have the responsibility now to make all this work. It's an awesome responsibility. It's an awesome task. But we need to quickly get our international friends into this to help us. We need more UN participation. We need more troops from other nations in, because it's going to be difficult for America to sustain the troop level and the commitment in order to get this done. But we are now in, and we have a big responsibility ahead of us.
Well, I mean, you can understand the question because of the past. I mean, essentially the United States here, about 3 months after the fall of Baghdad, is talking about being in Iraq for 5 years. I mean, should American people be concerned that it could be more than 5 years that the U.S. is tangled up in Iraq?
I think we just take it a year at a time here. The first thing is for the president to tell the American people what he knows. We've spoken to him about it, others have, that we have a major commitment that's going to take a long time, whether it's 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, whether it's 2 years. It's a lot longer than what people expect. We've been saying, both of us, along with the now chairman of the committee, Senator Lugar and others, that, hey, look, this is not the day after we talked about the decade after. This is a long-term process. I just came from a hearing in the Foreign Relations Committee where we're talking about our position in the Balkans. We still have troops in Bosnia and in Kosovo.
Yeah, so Senator Hagel, what's it going to cost?
Well, we're trying to get some numbers from the administration. But when Senator Biden, Senator Lugar, and I spent about 14 hours in Iraq 48 hours ago, we came back with a little better understanding of the sense of the magnitude, which means cost. Now, we need to know, as Joe said, the people of this country need to know some sense of cost, some sense of commitment. This is a heavy-duty cost. The fact is that the oil produced in Iraq is not going to cover a lot of this, and we need to make sure that American people understand that there is going to be a drain on our treasury for this.
Senator Biden, let me ask you about the human cost that we're talking about here. American and British soldiers still being killed yesterday, a very deadly day. The ambushes continue. When you talk about years, this going on for years, I mean, what about the possibility of the Iraqi resistance growing?
That doesn't have to go on for years. If we do this thing right, if we bring in NATO, if we include the international community, if we are able to make this transition, which I feel a little better about politically, to the Iraqis, we'll be there helping them. We'll not be there getting shot. But if we continue to decide, as apparently some of the Defense Department and civilian side have said, that we don't really need the help of the Europeans, we don't need the help of NATO, we're going to do this ourselves, we're not going to involve the UN more, then I think we end up paying the price both in blood and also in treasure. And by the way, this is worth the effort. I mean, don't misunderstand me, at least, and I don't think the senator either, and that is, we're not complaining that now we know this. We knew this in the beginning.
Well, you say it's worth the effort. Let me ask you both. I mean, at what cost? Human cost, the actual dollar expense, and for how long?
As long as it takes to make sure that Iraq does not devolve into a civil war, that the Iranians do not control the southern part of Iraq.
There must be a limit, though.
Well, no, it's in our interest. That's where the terror comes from. That's where if we get this wrong, after going in and waging a war, if we don't finish the job, there will be more chaos and we will be more susceptible than we were before, in my view.
John, this is an imperfect process. We're into something we've never been into before. We don't understand many of the dynamics. But the fact is, just as Senator Biden said, this is in the short-term and long-term interest of this country, United States of America. Our security interests, the stability of the world. The Middle East peace plan is involved in this. Afghanistan's future is involved, the entire Middle East. It's the center of gravity for the world right now in this era of time. And it must be done right, just as Senator Biden said. So it is in the interest of this country, and I believe America, if they are told and given the facts why it is in the interest of our country, I think they'll support it and sustain it. But we can't give a year or 2-year deadline. We don't know. But that's why it's so important that we get our international partnerships involved right now.
Senator Biden and Senator Hagel, it's good to see both of you. And again, thanks for taking the time to talk with us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.